Hello students, we were talking about post-fertilization events which includes formation of zygote and embryogenesis. Today we will talk about embryogenesis. Embryogenesis is development of embryo from zygote. Now this development includes two events, cell division and cell differentiation. Cell division takes place with the help of mitosis over here, which will lead to increase in number of cells. Do remember, meiosis will take place only during gamete formation. Cell differentiation is when different group of cells they develop into different type of tissues. Like we have learned that there is ectoderm, mesoderm and endoderm. So ectoderm generally becomes nervous system, mesoderm becomes muscles and so on. So this is known as cell differentiation, where it will form specialized tissues and organs. Now animals can be divided into two, oviparous and viviparous. Oviparous means egg laying. Viviparous means the animals which give rise to young ones, which give birth to young ones. Example for viviparous is mammals. Example for oviparous is reptiles and birds. Now, what happens in oviparous animals? They lay eggs and the eggs are developed outside the body of the female. So, the egg would be having hard calcareous shell and they are laid in a safe environment. Like for example, birds, they will lay their eggs in nest and they are covered with calcareous shell so that they can be protected against desiccation or other environmental condition. All of you might have eaten an egg that comes from hen. So, not necessary that all eggs that are laid will reach the chick level or they will hatch into young ones. Before they hatch into young ones, they undergo a period of incubation where the bird would incubate, the parents would incubate the egg, provide it with warmth so that the embryogenesis can take place inside the egg. So, young one hatches after the period of incubation. In viviparous animals, the examples are mammals where zygote develops into the young one inside the body of the female. There is a certain period of development and it reaches a certain stage of development. The period of development is known as gestation, and after the gestation period is over, after the embryo has developed to a certain level, the young one is delivered outside the body. The period of development will be different for different species. For example, for humans it is 9 months. For elephants it is 2 years. In viviparous animals, because there is proper embryonic care, the embryo is inside the mother's womb and it is taken so very good care of it, it's taking so very good care of itself, the chances of survival of young one are more as compared to the oviparous mode. When you talk about flowering plants, after fertilization, zygote is formed. Now, where is this zygote formed? It is formed inside the ovule. Recall the structure of flower. It will have sepals and petals, which are accessory organ, stamen, which is male reproductive organ, and pistil, which is female reproductive organ. Now, the pistil will have stigma, style, and ovary. The ovary will have ovule. So, after fertilization, ovule becomes seed, zygote becomes embryo, embryo remains inside the seed, and ovary becomes fruit. The seed, under favorable conditions, will germinate into the new plant. After fertilization, excuse me, sepals, petals, and even stamens, they wither off. Only pistil remains attached to the plant, and the outermost covering of the ovary or fruit will become thick walled and it is known as pericarp. The function of pericarp is protection. You have studied different types of fruits in standard 11, like if it's a true fruit, it may have pericarp, mesocarp, endocarp, etc. So the function of pericarp is protection, and it is the outermost thick wall. I said that sepals wither off, but there are exceptions to this. They remain attached in Solanaceae family. Example being tomato and brinjal. So, in tomato, brinjal, chili, guava, the sepals will persist even after fertilization. I request you to go through the textual exercises given at the end of your chapter in NCERT textbook, and if there are any doubts regarding them, you can ask the doubt in comment section.